Hi, I'm Tolutu, the author of Why and How Women Are Exploited by Men Worldwide, and welcome to the Tolutu channel. What I will be sharing with you today is Chapter 6, A Father's Role in Determining a Daughter's Self-Worth. I hope that you enjoy listening to the audio and having this chapter read to you, as all of the chapters will be read to you. It's 20 chapters in Why and How Women Are Exploited by Men Worldwide. This is a series of one of many other series that's going to be on this chapter. After you've listened to it, I hope that you feel that you might want to share it with other people, and you can always find this book on Amazon. So, with that having been said, the last thing I'd like to say to you is stay tuned, keep in touch. I'm looking for friends. I want to hear from you. Please give your comments, tell your friends that there's a new YouTube channel, Author Tolutu, with a series, a series of programs or series, whichever you want to call it. Sometimes I say programs. If I say programs, just know you folk who are 10 years old that I mean series, okay? So we're going to have series Why and How Women Are Exploited by Men Worldwide, series for Oops Then You're Dead, which is a book of short stories. Then there's going to be the play Oops Story 1. There's two main characters, and I give you the name of the characters because the names are kind of interesting. Let's see what Sweetie Pie, who's one character, and the Street Monster, who's the other character in Oops Story 1. And then the other series is Ain't This a Blip? And Ain't This a Blip? It's all kinds of crazy things that if somebody came and told you this happened, would you believe that it would be possible for this kind of crap to go on? You're going to have a lot of fun. I know I am. Looking forward to seeing you. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't just view. Subscribe. Come on, let's be friends. So I look forward to being here and you being with me. Now, I'm going to perform whether you come or not. So don't worry, I'm going to be having fun. I want you to just relax and listen to the audio in those cases where it's strictly audio. And look forward to seeing you the next time. And at the bottom, there is a link directly to Amazon for the book Oops Story Oops Then You're Dead, and Why and How Women Are Exploited by Men Worldwide. Now, what you're getting ready to listen to, once again, Chapter 6, A Father's Role in Determining a Daughter's Self-Worth. See you then. Bye.
Chapter 6, this is the fourth tape. Father's roles in determining daughter's self-worth. Because fathers play such an important, crucial role in the female's perception of self, determining whether she feels have high self-esteem and is confident, and high expectations are placed on her by her father to pursue things. Because this comes from the father, it is very important for females to consider these factors before making a decision to have a child or bear a child for a male. Now let me go back over that again. Since the father plays such a crucial role in a daughter's self-esteem and overall lifetime goals and her level or threshold for tolerating or demanding or expecting respect. Let me clarify that. If a female has not been acclimated and nurtured to expect to be respected, and not only to expect it, to only accept being respected. If a female has not had that instilled in her, she is a female who is more prone to be a groupie, one of the many women, even in Western culture, who always want to be a helpmate slash gopher for some male. And I mean, it doesn't even have to be a male that she's in an intimate relationship with. So because women with low self-esteem and women who have because it can be confusing, because a lot of women who appear to have low self-esteem and that are doormats and gophers for males, and they seek out opportunities to be a gopher and a doormat and a number of other adjectives for a male. Oftentimes, those women also have emotional and psychological disturbances / illnesses. Now, it's just obvious if it's either one or two things. Either you have no self-esteem, low self-esteem, or you're mentally or emotionally, and there's one other thing, or you're drug dependent, okay? If it's got to be one of those categories of things that would make you as a female make a lifetime role of following around and being a gopher and a doormat, and for males. So many women, and I've said this and I'll say it again. When I hear a woman say to me, my business partner, I get quiet. And, and I ask them one question. Is your partner a male or a female? And as soon as they tell me that they have a male partner, I discount them and their partnership. There are exceptions, but I am never talking about the exceptions in this book. Do not contact me and start telling me and all the glorious and glorified stories about the exceptions. I am not talking about the exceptions. Exceptions are just that. It's not the norm. It's not the majority. I want to make that real clear to my readership here. I'm not talking about those cases. But in every other case, the norm, when a male brings in a female, he and the other males view her basically as, no matter what role she is coming in as, even if she's an accountant, he and the other males are viewing her as the cook, the house cleaner, the babysitter, and the person who's going to do all of the administrative things that they either feel are beneath them as males, or that they don't feel they're acclimated to do. There's nothing wrong with those roles. Don't misunderstand me. They're very necessary and very important roles. But if you think you have a partnership and the person person that you are having this partnership with, even if it's a female, everybody knows that partnerships are very difficult. So, and all kinds of partnerships, relationship partnership, marriage partnerships, business partnerships, computer partnerships. I don't care what the area is. Partnerships are very difficult to manage and maintain and to continue. So that being the setting and the preference or the prefix of a partnership, then if you're having a partnership, going into a partnership with a male who expects for you to do all of the important work, the grunt work, in order to keep that business or entity functioning and going, and then he doesn't respect how important you and your role is, even though you and he may be calling you a partner, he is seeing himself basically as his gopher. So, ladies, be very careful. Always be vigilant about what it is that a person is taking from you, accepting from you in terms of your skills and your services. They have a value. Even though that male may make you feel that it's insignificant and it doesn't have the same worth and value as what his skill is, that is absolutely a tactic for psychologically programming you to demand less, expect less, do more, and most of all, to be grateful for the opportunity to say that you are a part of that partnership. Now, I've gotten off into the partnership because all of these kinds of roles in life are built on your being, as a female, able to decipher how and what is appropriate at what level for you as a person, first of all. And it just so happened that you are a female person. All of that ability comes from having a good self-image and having high self-esteem that is given to the female by her father, not by the basis that just the fact that he biologically helped to partnership the creation of her, but his nurturing, his attention, his motivation, his guidance, and his input in letting her know and making sure she understood that she should have high expectations, that she is special. That comes from the father. That is the reason I emphasize that when you're making a decision about sharing parenthood with a person, it's very important, because you as the female is the one who's going to determine who you're going to have children with. No one else can determine that but you. That being the case, you may find John emotionally or psychologically or sexually exciting, but John may not be worth a damn in terms of being a father, for male or female. That's important. You have a responsibility as a female, the one who is always going to be there in that issue's life, to do the right things for your child in terms of selecting the best possible parent. Not because the person is wears Versace clothes and drive a BMW. That's not a basis for alone for selecting the parent, just selecting the father. Now, it's a factor that he wears Versace and drives, or some designer. It doesn't have to be just put designer in there. This is an administrative note. The fact that he wears designer clothes and drives an expensive car, if he has the income to maintain that lifestyle, along with being able to provide well for a child, and he wants to have a child, then okay, that may be somebody that you might want to consider. But if you're selecting him a guy just because you like the way he dressed or his car, that didn't have anything to do with parenting. And I hear so many women complain about the fathers of their children. And I always ask them, and you know, if the opportunity is appropriate and it's a private setting, a couple of questions. The first one is, did your baby's father want and did you all plan and did you all agree to having this child? That's the most important question. Because, and the second thing is, sometimes women will say to me, yeah, he said that he wanted a baby. I said, but did he say that while y'all was having sex? Or did you all talk about this when neither one of you had had any kind of mood enhancers of any sort, wine, Coke 45s, or marijuana, or anything else? Did you all sit over the breakfast table drinking coffee and talk and discuss this on a number of occasions? Not one time. That's what I always ask women when they say, yeah, the guy wanted to have a baby. And the other thing I asked them, well, what did you and he discuss about the provisions for the child on a lifetime basis? What did you all talk about in terms of finances and how you were going to care for the child? What college you would, or what other kind of training that you thought that you all would do for you? Have you done any of this? Because if you haven't, females who have had a lot of positive nurturing and feedback from their fathers stand apart. When anyone come in contact with them on any level, it's very obvious, that this is a woman or a female who can't and will not be put upon. Have you ever heard males say regarding a female that the problem with her is that her father has already ruined her for any other male? What that guy is really saying is, this is a woman who has a very, very good self-image. She is in control. She feels good about herself. She's able to make a decision and stick with it. She cannot and will not be anybody's doormat for them to wipe their feet on. And it's all because her father took her under his wing and spent a lot of time nurturing his daughter and had very high expectations for his daughter, that he let her know in the very beginning that she was special. And from that moment on, no one else in any kind of relationship can take that from that female And that female will go but so far. She may, in fact, a female who's had nurturing from her father and have a high self-esteem as a result of having a father who actually was into his daughter in the sense of guiding her and pushing her and seeing to it that she develops as a person. That is a woman to be reckoned with. That is a woman that ideally, if every woman could get that, every female could get that, I guess men and women worldwide would be eating each other's heads off. There's one caveat, an observation that doesn't have to be a rule, but generally it is the more mature fathers who are better at nurturing their daughters and giving their daughters and having high expectations for their daughters and being very centered on their daughter's success and happiness and being this special person. I mean, she's a princess, it's true, but oftentimes princesses in reality and not in the dream world, lose that princess status along with age and maturity and, a whole host of other kinds of perimeters. Females who allow themselves to be used and abused and put upon by males are females who are looking for what they did not get from their father. I am not saying here that they're looking that they would have gotten abuse and other ill treatment from their father, but because they did not receive that attention from their fathers, they had not been validated by their fathers. Only their fathers can validate them, not their mothers. There's a misconception. Oftentimes people will think of that the father is more important to the son and more necessary for the son than he is for his daughter, and that's absolutely not the case. In order for females to feel very good about themselves and to have high self-esteem, it normally comes from their father. Now, I don't mean that means that just because their biological father was in the house with their mother, that's going to give them self-esteem. I am not talking about that at all. I know hordes of females who were raised in a household with both their biological father and their biological mother. If the father was in the house, and he could have been, even though he could have been a very good provider, a very nice man, if he did not give his daughters particular attention and let it be known that they were special and he had high expectations for them, then it's just that female is no better off than a female who did not get this attention or have her father in the home. Just his being physically in the home
it's not enough to give the daughter high self-esteem. My father was in his 50s when I was born, upper 50s. He's probably upper 50s. I don't recall exactly his age, but he was a very mature gentleman. That helped a lot. The fact that he had an opportunity to do almost everything that he was going to do, and he had gotten to the point by the time I came along to be able to spend all of his time and energy in and having very high standards and expectations for me, that he demanded everybody else respect and understand was going to be the case. The fact that he was in his 50s and had a child, I, in retrospect, now believe that he was just delighted with himself. The reason I'm sharing this is because that experience with my father and watching other mature parents, especially with the fathers, and it's helpful if the mother is more mature as well. And the reason why that is so important is because you physically are able to reproduce a child, but you don't really have very much to offer a child when you're young. You really don't. You are still trying to figure stuff out. There are so many things that you just don't know, and it comes with maturity and experience, and some of the things come with resignation. So that is why it is so important, I find, to be mature in a number of ways, not only in terms of your emotionally, but also chronologically. And as I was saying, with my own father, he gave me this nickname, Burning Bush and Ball of Fire. I mean, that was how he always referred to me. Come in, Burning Bush and Ball of Fire. Well, I didn't really know what that meant. It meant nothing to me. I mean, I knew. I remember that name, Burning Bush, Ball of Fire. And even though I was a child, I knew if I was a burning bush and a ball of fire, that set me up psychologically. It seeped in that there was something dynamic about me. Now, I didn't know the word dynamic, but the word burning bush and ball of fire, boy, those are two pretty strong names, compound names there. So all of those kinds of things help and mold and determine who you will become. Not just who you are right now, but who you will become. What you think of yourself and how you think of yourself. This is so crucial to females in terms of their self-worth and determination and image that comes from the father. It comes from a father who, let me put it like this, that idolizes his daughter. Those are the kind of women who, if there are any females who can stand up to all of the gender bias and still, after the years and years of being in the storm of female gender bias, can remain and not get uprooted, it's the female who has had a very strong, loving, supportive, and most of all, high expectations put to her, for her, by her father. It's so important. So you may want to consider that, you know, in terms of when you decide to have a child, you really, you must look at something other than the physical part of having a child with someone because you like this guy, or this guy makes you feel good in the bed, or you just got whatever it is that's going on, that chemistry between you and the guy. But is this guy going to be a good dad? Does he want to be a dad? Is he prepared to be a dad? A lot of people would like to be good dads, but most guys have not reached that emotional level of maturity to be a good father. Now, sure, I've seen a lot of guys, and I'm not saying that a guy who isn't 50 can't be a good dad, but he still does not have what he needs to be a good dad, not for the first year, not for the baby's first year, not until the little child gets in kindergarten, preschool, or the 5th grade, but consistently on a level basis. And this is what children always need. It doesn't do the child any good to make over the child from birth to 6 years old and then drop out of sight. That child is no better off than a child who's never had or has had very little nurturing from their dad.
Females, daughters, get their self-worth and self-esteem from their fathers. That is a fact. And since that's a fact, if you have, as we do, a worldwide state of emergency regarding females and daughters not being viewed by the father as their choice of gender, number one, as though someone can decide arbitrarily without some extra scientific stuff whether you have a female or a male. If the guy is not going to be happy and he insists on the fact that he wants sons, most of all, right away that has set up the scenario where the daughter isn't going to be valued to the extent that she should be. If the guy wants a male child or male children and he's not interested in having females, right away this is not a good situation for the daughter to come in, because this is not going to be, in most cases, a father who's going to dote on his daughter, who's going to be enamored with his daughter, and who is delighted that he has a daughter. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to mistreat her, no, but it doesn't mean that she is going to be a woman with high self-esteem, because he may not give her the attention that's required to have a daughter who has high self-esteem that daughters get from their fathers. So, ladies, if you are making a decision or in the process of having or sharing parenthood with a male, if this is a male who has already indicated that it's a male that he wants, it's a male that he has all these plans for, it's a male that he would like to pass on his trade, his avocation, his wherefore to, then ladies, you have a responsibility to maybe not share parenthood with that guy, because it's not right, it's not fair, it's not equitable, and it just makes no doggone sense to have a daughter with, and you don't know, with a man who's already said he's only interested in a male child. So even if he discovers later on, by the time the daughter is 20, that she was just as important and in most instances more important than that male who he can't control. But when he makes that discovery and then want to come dragging his papa behind to her, it's too late. He's already missed the opportunity for himself to give his daughter the things that she needed from him to make her feel good about herself or to validate herself. It's too late. She's probably already did so many things that she would not have done at all, and maybe not at least in the manner in which she did them, had she been feeling good about herself. Now he's coming to her on the back end, and you can't fix that stuff on the back end. Whatever you have ruined because you didn't have self-esteem or for whatever reason, you can only have what is called damage control. And damage control in most people's everyday basic lives is just not making the situation any worse or continuing with a bad situation. But hell, like I tell people, and I say this all the time, for me, and this is a parable here. If you chop my head off, if you take a machete and chop my head off, and then say to me, "Oh, Tolu, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to chop your head off. Oh boy, it was an accident. Had I only known, I would not have chopped your head off. My head is lying down there on the ground. What difference does it make whether it was a mistake or an accident or you didn't mean to and you're sorry? I can't and you can't fix that. I'm not going to survive my head being chopped off. I'm not going to survive that. Or if by some chance I happen to be able to have some portion of it that you didn't sever so that I can, still maintain my head, I'm not going to be in any shape. It's not going to do me any good. I'm going to be all messed up, a vegetable. So either way, I have lost out. It's a done deal. I'm messed up. So don't mess me up and then come back to me and say, I'm sorry. It was an accident. Now, I'm not telling you whether to feel
or forgive people or not forgive people. I am telling you personally, for me, if you chop my daggone head off, I don't care why. I don't care that it was an accident. All I know is I don't have my head. That's what's important to me. And that can't be fixed. You cannot come back later and 20 years, 15 years, or 10 years and fix that. I know it's it's a lot to think about and plan on and really explore and develop in making your decisions about having a child and with whom you have that child. And the point is that very much that's the ideal situation under which you should be having a child. In many places, women have a lot more choices about getting pregnant and having children because they have available to them such things as birth control as well as abortion. Now, I don't care what your position is on abortions or birth control. I am just saying that those are tools that may be appropriate and useful in making a decision of if for some reason something happens that you either have a child or get pregnant or not. Whereas there are still many places in the world where that's not available to women. So that